Guess what came in the mail today? This is the proof copy of my YA mystery romance book that releases on February 14th. So let's just open it up. I'm way too excited to read. And this is just the proof copy, so it's gonna have this like barcode strip because it's the test copy. And I'm throwing this on the floor. Oh my gosh, what the heck? It took me by surprise because the text is like a little smaller, but like, whoa, look how thick she is. Oh my gosh. I think, let me know, like I feel like, ignore the bar, that's like Amazon's thing, since it's a proof copy and I can't distribute it or sell it, but like, I feel like the text is a little too small. I might have to make it bigger, but this is my book. Oh my gosh, isn't she just gorgeous? Like I said, I made this cover myself in Canva, and I formatted myself too, so without giving away the story, I'll show you some of the formatted pages. And I did this thing I tried for the first time. Well, first of all, let me show y'all this. For Allison's chapters, she gets diary entries because she's like the missing girl, and I did this like little playlist thing. So this is actually an image from Canva that I imported. It turned out so good! And then I tried out this new thing that I've never done before, drop caps. So like the first letter of the first line of the chapter is like bigger and bolder. So you can see like with the A there, the T here. I don't know why the T's turned out the best, but oh my gosh. I have something to like physically hold in my hands. That is insane. It is like an actual book, you guys. It's an actual book. I'm like just gonna keep flaunting this and showing this off because it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it so much. Wow. I gotta say, the colors turned out good. I would say definitely something printing with Amazon. Sometimes it doesn't matter what colors you do when you're making it. Sometimes when they print, they get like darker or like duller, I guess is the word. This turned out so vibrant and so pretty. It's like, I'm kind of going for like a sunset, like pink and like light orange, like those type of colors. I think it turned out gorgeous. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Stay tuned because I'm going to be proofreading this soon, but I'm so glad to finally have a test copy in my hands. Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. If you're new around here, my name is Marcelina. I'm a 16-year-old self-published author. I write mystery romance books and publish them on places like Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, Barnes & Noble, and I'm working on places like Walmart and Target and other bookstores. Now, I do have an upcoming release that I have been working on. If you've been following my channel at all, you'll know about it. It's called Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead. It's this baby right here. It is up for pre-order on Amazon as an ebook right now, however. And if you do want to pre-order the paperback, it is up on Barnes & Noble. I'll have both of the links in the description. Reminder that if you do pre-order and you have a proof of purchase, like a screenshot of your receipt or whatnot, you can fill out the Google form that I'll also have linked in the description down below, where that will grant you immediate access to free goodies, such as 2 pieces of lovely character art of Natalia and Allison Serenelli, the 2 sisters in this book, the first 3 chapters of this for free, as well as an extra bonus scene chapter from an unnamed character's POV that I think y'all are really going to appreciate. So please check that out if you're interested. But this is the proof copy. The reason I have it is because I am going to be proofreading. That is right, we are starting draft, what is this? Draft 7? Holy crap, is this draft 7? This is draft 7, isn't it? I don't even know. I have been working on this book for almost a year. I started planning and outlining this back in February. Today is currently Monday, December 22nd. It's been a hot minute. But yes, this is draft 7. I am so ecstatic. We are very, very close to the release. I don't even know if I said that in this video. This book comes out February 14th, Valentine's Day. I am a bundle of nerves because I am sending it to ARC readers in 4 days. I am sending it this Friday, December 26th. So if you are an ARC reader, you will be getting it in your inbox in a few days. I promise. Actually, when this video comes out, you should have already received it, or I will be sending it in the next couple of hours. And also, I am going to still reach out to ARC readers after the 26th, so this will not be my final, like, completed team, if that makes sense. But that leads me to my point. I have already made commitments to several people, some of which are professional ARC readers, some of which are Goodreads people that I follow, some of which are like returning ARC readers who ARC read my last book, The Blood That Divides Us, and then some of them are actually established booktubers. I think I've gotten 3 thus far. They've all agreed. So anyway, I have promised the 26th to so many people. I gotta proofread this baby first. Basically, if you didn't know, proofreading is the final stage of edits. So after this, I'm done. Unless one of my ARC readers points out a typo and it's like, oh shoot, am I stupid? How did I miss that? After this, I'm no longer editing this book. After this, what's done is done. Like, that will be the final version, which is why it's so imperative that I do this right. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through every single thing and reading this like an actual reader. And it'll be a lot easier to, like, get in that mindset and that headspace because it is an actual paperback. For the last 6 drafts of editing, I have been reading it either off my computer or off my phone. Spoiler, neither of which are very helpful for, like, treating it like an actual reader. Because yes, I do have a Kindle and I do read books on my Kindle. So I guess sometimes when I'm reading, especially on my phone, because I do have dark mode on my phone, it kind of seems like a Kindle, but it also just doesn't. It just seems like my phone. And I feel like as much as I love my Kindle, I'm a paperback reader through and through. So, like, having something to physically hold in my hands, and as I'm going to be reading it and, like, seeing it on the page in the right font that a paperback is, with the formatting and the spacing, it is going to, like, psych me out, which is what I want. When you're proofreading, you want to, like, put that writer side of you that, oh yeah, I love writing this scene. Oh yeah, I created this character. Put that behind you for like 2 seconds. You just need to act like a reader, because the whole point of proofreading is you are catching last minute typos, formatting errors, yes, although that's not the priority, but mainly typos and also just last minute grammatical things. This is what line editing is for. I just came out of line editing, feels like not that long. It was like 3 weeks ago. I have a whole series of videos on that if you want to go check them out. But that is basically the prose, word by word, sentence by sentence, line by line level things. So you don't really want to be doing that. Although I do sound like a hypocrite because I do tend to do that with my proofreading. When I was proofreading my last book, I did this all the time. I rewrote whole lines, which you're probably like, Marcelina, isn't that what we were doing in line edits? Like, why are you doing that now? I try so hard not to, because yes, then it makes it seem like line editing was kind of a waste of time, and like, especially if I'm rewriting lines that I already rewrote like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's just, there's something about seeing your book in a different format like this, that it's like, you kind of catch things, you kind of have more of an eagle eye, and you notice things better, because at least for me, I'm on my phone a lot. I'm on my computer a lot, especially the last couple weeks because I just came off exams. I actually got all straight A's. I finished the semester with all straight A's. I'm so happy. All my studying paid off. I was like a studying machine the last 2 weeks. Especially then, I've been on technology a lot. So like at a certain point, when you are just on screens too much, your eyes just glaze over things. You just start skimming things. Even if you don't mean to, it's really, really hard. But when you're reading a book, it's just so much easier to slow down and be like, huh, that doesn't sound right. Hey, I used a different tense here. Like, this, not grammatically correct. So anyway, that's kind of what proofreading is. It's the last minute, like, final catching stages, clarity, flow, grammatical things, your last minute line edits, typos, stuff like that. Double, triple, quadruple checking that this is what we want as our final thing. And also, if we have any like last minute changes of heart, this is it. If I do decide like, actually, I want to change a character's name, I have done that in proofreading actually. Spoiler! I try my hardest not to do any like big plot developmental things, because that was like September and October me's problem, not December, almost January me's problem. But yeah, just little things, just really catching the final mistakes. And even so, just being a perfectionist and just like smoothing out the top and just making sure it is what I want to put out into the world, what I feel proud of and comfortable with putting out into the world. It's going to be hard to show like actual examples because I don't want to show you guys the book because spoilers, duh. But I will show you as much as I can. And I do have a certain process, by the way, and I got this from Bethany Atazada. She's one of my favorite author tubers. She's actually, I think, the first author tuber I ever watched. She really, like, got me into wanting to publish and, like, realizing it's possible in terms of self-publishing. She has a really good video on proofreading. Actually, 2 really good videos on proofreading that I will link in the description down below. This one especially helped me a lot. So I stole this method from her, but that is when I finish proofreading a page and it is done, I take my red pen and I draw a little check mark at the bottom corner of the page. So this is the title page. I already kind of did it, just like the first front matter to show you guys. So check mark. The copyrights page, I read through it, it's all good. I put a check mark. What is this? Dedication. I read through it, it's all good. Oh, my hand's blocking it. Check mark. So I just do that for every single page. I just draw a red check mark, and you'll see they start to get bigger and kind of crazier as they go on. It's really funny to see. Like, they start out kind of like small and dainty, and then they end up being like, whoa, as I start to get rushed, and I'm just like doing that. So that's what I do when I'm done with every single page, just so I know, like, if I do get distracted or if I do get interrupted reading, I can be like, did I finish this page? Oh yeah, I did finish this page, just to, like, keep track of it. I haven't actually started reading the story yet. I was just reading through the front matter, so this is the playlist, and I realized that there's a song on this playlist that I actually, like, I don't think it fits the story anymore. Like, I added it a couple months ago. I just don't think it works anymore, so I want to delete it. Not only from this book, but I'm also going to go into the official Spotify playlist and actually remove it. But if I want to delete something from the book, I just completely scribble it out. If I have a word and I don't necessarily want to delete it, I just want to change it to a different word, I just do, where is it? Just a single, like, cross through it. Sometimes it'll be in this direction, whatever direction, and then I just write underneath it what I want the actual word to be, if that makes sense. Or sometimes, if it won't fit, I'll just, like, draw a little arrow off to the side and then put in the text. Just something that'll indicate my whole plan here. So anyway, I will give you more examples. Like I said, I have not started reading. I'm only on, like, just the front matter, which is page 8. So I've only proofread technically 7 pages, but, like, the playlist is, like, 6 pages alone. So anyway, we're gonna actually get into the story now, and as I go through, I promise I will give you more examples. I'll go through some of it live with you, the non-spoilery parts, and I will just kind of, like, walk you through my process. You'll get to see more examples of what I do if you're confused, but that'll come later. I'm really excited though, and I do have a little proofreading tracker that I made, and this is just because, guys, this is 465 pages. If you think I'm lying, yeah, it's a lot of pages. That's a lot. For a standalone, that's a lot of pages. So, I'm someone who I tend to, like, get distracted easily, and I tend to, like, burn out easily, and if I do something a long time, I'm just like, I'm bored, I need a break. So I kind of made this tracker because trackers help me to, like, keep track of it. So I went in increments of 15 because I was, like, looking up 465 divided by a bunch of things because I didn't want odd amounts. Originally I was going to do by 10, but obviously that would have been, like, 46.5, so I would have had, like, half a box, which I feel like would have been kind of weird. Then I was going to do 20. That still would have been weird. So then when I did 465 divided by 15, that ended up being an even 31, and I wanted an even number of boxes. So anyway, I went by increments of 15, so 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, like so on and so forth, all the way until 465, and basically I have two colors of highlighters here, yellow and pink, and basically I could alternate, I don't know, maybe I'll alternate, or maybe I'll do, okay, I have an idea. I think I'm going to alternate based on the, like, hundreds. So for the first 100 pages, I'll do yellow. Then when I get to 105, I'll do pink. Until I get to 200, I'll do yellow. 300 will be pink, and then 400 with the final home stretch will be yellow. That way it's just color coordinated a little bit, but every time I finish and I get to that, like, page number, I'll color a box in. That way it just, like, looks aesthetically pleasing. It's kind of like a little reward system for me to do because I want to, like, color in a new box. I don't know. I'm hoping it helps. I don't know if anything is going to help, because it's a lot of pages and I'm stressing because I don't have a lot of time to do this, but Anyway, with that, I'm gonna stop yapping and get to proofreading. Okay, here's also a good example. So right here, I put everyday as one word. Guys, I'm sorry. I know English, I promise. It just sometimes confuses me because I see this a lot, but then that just means they're incorrect. But anyway, this would be correct if it was like my everyday shoes. But because I'm just saying they fought nearly every day, I need to space these out. So I guess if you wanted to, you could write it out like every space day on top of it. That way you just kind of like rewrite it in the manuscript. I'm just gonna be lazy though, and I'm just gonna put a slash through it. Like that. Oh, that was really uneven because I'm holding my phone. Okay, hold on. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, but basically, you get the point. You can just do little things like this, because at the end of the day, this is not some like comprehensive journal that you are presenting to your professor in English class. You can do these little symbols that, as long as you understand it and you remember what it means when you go back to implement it into your computer, that's all that matters. But also you kind of want to stay consistent, so if there is another word that I have to split apart, I'll just do a slash like that. But just a little PSA that you don't have to like rewrite it necessarily, just do little symbols like that, which especially help if you're a visual learner. Okay, I found another really good example. I'm only on page 11. Excuse my mom vacuuming in the background. I hope that's not too loud. But I realized that I wanted to kind of split up a dialogue sentence. So I originally had it as, oh nope, comma, she groaned, comma, we're not doing this again. Like, as in one sentence that I got broken up by a dialogue tag. However, I realized that I feel like it'd be punchier and it'd make more sense phonetically if I broke it up. So I just put, oh nope, she groaned, period, capital W, we're not doing this again. However, if I just put a period, that would be really hard. So when I do want to change punctuation, sorry, my phone has a shadow, I put a circle around it. I just circle whatever punctuation I want to do. That way it reminds me, because you can't really see the period, it just kind of blends in with the comma. That way I know, hey, this is circle that draws my eye to it, so that when I am transferring this eventually, I will not miss these two. And it'll remind me I'm circling them for a reason. And then especially with this capital W, like, oh yeah, I wanted to put periods there. So I'll do the same thing if, like, let's say I forget a comma somewhere and there should be a comma before the word but, let's say. Then I'll put a comma, but then I'll circle it as well. That way there's no possibility of me missing it. And I won't like skim past it when I'm just scanning this. So that's another good tip. I didn't make it very far from my last update. I'm on page 12. But I do feel like a lot of my updates are going to be toward the beginning, because once I start getting toward the middle and end of this book, I don't really want to be talking about it on camera. But I found a plot hole. And it's annoying me, because I know I just said that, like, this draft 7, like, I should be rid of plot holes already. That should have been figured out. If not in developmental, which is draft 2, definitely in betas, which is draft 3. Definitely by line edits. But then I remember that during line edits, I don't know if I talked about this or not, but I actually changed this. This was not what it originally was. I cannot remember what it originally was. But I changed it a few weeks ago. And then for some reason I thought it was okay. And then now that I'm reading it, I'm like, this isn't okay. And it has nothing to do with the word choice or the vocabulary. So I'm going to try to like explain this without explaining it. And faster than any of us could even blink, she strode off and slammed the front door behind her so hard it rattled the portraits of Mom and a man too tall or blonde to be Dad. We're looking at the portraits part. Basically, how do I say this without saying it? Because it's kind of a plot twist. And keep in mind, we're in the prologue still. This part of the book is being told from 11-year-old Natalia's perspective. She is 16 in the entire rest of the book, but just these first, like, 15 pages, she is 11 years old. This is a flashback. By her saying that it rattled the portraits of Mom and a man too tall or blonde to be Dad, it's because it is actually not her dad in that photo, or in the painting. And it's actually not her mom, which we learn later in, like, I don't even know, chapter 10 or something, when she sees it somewhere else at Kyle's cabin. But the problem is, I kind of phrased it weird, because I didn't phrase it, I phrased it as if one portrait was of, like, her actual mother, Stephanie, and it actually is of her. And then the portrait of the man, which should be her dad, she describes, and keep in mind she's 11, that's why she's, like, it's not definite or anything, but she describes it as too tall or blonde to be him. Her parents told her that that was him, but she's like just being observant, like too tall and blonde to be him. There's two problems with this. First of all, I need to switch that because actually it should be Stephanie who is not in the photo. It is not Stephanie in the portrait. And if you're like, wait, why did they have a painting of a random woman then? Stephanie's playing it off. And what's her face? Allison doesn't know any better. Allison's 15 in this flashback, but Natalia obviously doesn't. She's 11. But here's the other issue is like the man too tall or blonde to be her dad. His name's Sean. I know who I want it to be because the person that is their mom, that actually isn't their mom, it needs to be her, not husband. Oh, this is hard not to spoil anything. Her baby daddy, let's just put it that way for now. But it needs to be him. But then you're thinking logically. I mean, I'm thinking logically. I know things, right? Allison has met said guy, said baby daddy of this woman who's in, like, painted in their home. She knows him, has known him for months. This is, like, the catalyst set up, like, she knows him very, very well. So wouldn't there be concerns raised by Allison, who, again, knows this guy on a very personal, deep level, for her to be like, why is there a painting of him hung up on our walls? To which, why? Actually, I'm answering my own question. Why would Stephanie want him there? I say want him there, want his painting there. We all know why Stephanie wants a painting there. Let's just say that. I feel like from Sean's perspective, not that he would be okay with that. He's a pushover, honestly. Like, we all know Stephanie dominates the house. But, like, I feel like it makes no sense for that guy to be there. But also, like, it wouldn't be this woman and then just, like, a portrait of Sean. Because Sean and this other woman, who is not Stephanie, but is supposed to be her, they're not together. They never even met, actually. It's just, like, it's one of those things where readers, I feel like, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I feel like readers are gonna know. Readers are gonna come back to this detail and they're gonna be like, this makes no sense, because you built up for this one guy who we assume, who you have heavily implied that we get to at the end of the book is a certain character. But it just, logistically, why would they have him there? How would Allison not throw a fit and, like, damage it and rip the painting down? Like, girl, I would. We're gonna problem solve together. I know that the mom has to be the same. Like, not the mom, but, like, somebody's mom. The woman that's supposed to be Stephanie, that's not Stephanie, is somebody's mom in this book. One of the main characters' moms. That needs to be her, because that is mentioned in chapter 8, actually, is when it's kind of, I don't want to say revealed, but it's, like, brought up again. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do, we are going to scribble. Okay, genuinely, what is this? What in the scribbles is this? Anyway, we're gonna go to chapter 8. That's chapter 7. Where I described the portrait, and we're gonna, not copy and paste, but we're gonna bring in the same description. Because I found, because this is like, there's an 80-page difference book-wise, but then also timeline-wise, there's a 5-year difference between when Natalia was describing this painting versus when she sees it again. Like, story-wise in the book, there's a 5-year difference. I feel like it wouldn't just trigger her memory. Like, yes, I guess trauma, like, definitely does something to your brain and does something to your memory, but I feel like upon seeing it, it would need to, like, there would need to be something very specific, a very specific detail regarding that painting. That detail would catch her eye, and then that's what would trigger a flashback that I would present to the readers, so that the readers suddenly remember this detail that they should have hopefully been paying attention to this early on in the book, and then hopefully they know what's going on too. But then also Natalia can be like, hey, that was at my house when I was younger. I found it. You want to know what page it was on? 67. I'm telling you, man, that number is cursed for me and my friend. Like, it's follows us everywhere. Okay, so on page 67, I describe it as, well, I describe it actually on another page too, but I think on 68? No, 60, no, 70. But the first time I mention it, again, I say, the only modern element was the array of string lights dangling from the vaulted ceiling, which connected to a ginormous portrait front and center of a tall, blonde, young woman, teenager, who could have easily passed as a model. I wondered if she was one of the other 3 members, or... And then, again, I mentioned it on page 70, where she's daydreaming. And she says, my line of sight locked on the portrait of that girl once more, the one suspiciously similar to Allison. She aged a few years, but the features and body type, skinny, borderline malnourished, resembled her. Even the necklace, shaped like a heart, matched. But then, what makes it very tricky for me to, like, pull in a separate flashback of the prologue, or, like, Natalia remembering that day, is that then right after I go right into a flashback, like a half a page long flashback of the necklace. And you can't have 2 flashbacks, like that gets messy. So when I get to this part, because what I'm struggling with is like how I want her to recognize that, because as it stands right now, because like this mentioning of it being in their house before was never a thing up until November. So was not in the original drafting plans. This is not in the outlining plans. Like, I don't know where this came out of my brain. But I think what I'm going to do, one step at a time. We're only on page 12. I'll deal with, like, how I want Natalia to, like, recognize it and be like, hey, wasn't that in my house? Kind of thing. When we get there. Eventually. That'll happen. But I think for now, we're on the prologue. I just need to change this. So originally in the prologue, I say, and slammed the front door behind her so hard it rattled the portraits of Mom. We're going to, okay, I think we're going to pull this detail. A ginormous portrait of a tall, blonde young woman, where she's like a teenager, wearing the necklace. And then I'll say like, who she assumed to be Mom. Because you'll also see the shift. She calls her mom in the prologue when she's 11 years old. She calls her mom. Then throughout the rest of the book, she refers to her as Stephanie, and that really is evident of like how she feels about her, and like you can tell where the dynamic has shifted. But I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to, like, you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to rewrite it, actually. I was going to do, like, an asterisk and then do one. That's just going to be too confusing to be, like, what page was it on again? So I think I'm just going to, like, rewrite it out. Okay. I think I have a plan. Anyway. Rambling over. I'll update you guys later. I just realized I said gravel sidewalk. I swear, sometimes as writers, we try to get really wordy because we think it's, like, cool or something, because we just want to be, like, descriptive. I looked it up. A gravel sidewalk, not the imagery I was trying to present here. Like, I'm just thinking, like, traditional sidewalk on the side of a road. That's concrete, honey. Sometimes I just gotta, like, keep my mouth shut and just stick to, like, basic words, because what? Okay guys, I was waiting for this to happen and it finally did, so now I can show you guys. So basically, see this little messy thing I did here where I circled one word, circled another, and then connected them with a line? Yes, I did this intentionally. This is also like a little strategy trick I got from Bethany Altazada. Basically, this is called an echo. It is when you have the same exact word, the same freaking word on the same freaking page. Now, this is something you don't necessarily notice when you're writing, because a lot of the times if you're writing on a computer, due to the formatting spaces, it just looks different, and especially on a phone. This is probably all that's going to be on one page of my phone, and then this is like a whole second page. So it doesn't seem as obvious as when you have it formatted and printed like this. It looks really obvious, and you just don't want this because it seems really repetitive. I was just vibing along here. If I could notice it, I was like, wait a second, didn't I just say golden? Like, it just sounds very familiar. When you have too many repetitive things, it just sounds stupid, and like, I'm sorry, you as the author, you don't have a good vocabulary. It starts to annoy readers. So the trick is, do this just so you can really get a good grasp on how close they are together. Now, if they're on like 2 separate pages, you do kind of have to make a judgment call if you want to change one of them or not. Now, there are exceptions to this rule. Like, for example, I think I did it before. Oh, right here. Okay. So, and by the way, this is still in the prologue. That's why I'm showing you guys so many examples. No spoilers at all. I promise. We're literally in the first few pages. But basically, Allison broke a glass vase. and their mom came back with a broom and a dustpan. Then in the next paragraph, Allison reluctantly take the broom but didn't do anything more with it. So you may be like, Marcelina, you used broom here and broom here. That's an echo. Technically not, because there's only so many ways to say broom, guys. There's not a variety, and with those types of things, if you try to do that, if you try to like find another word to say broom, it's gonna sound so cheesy and corny. I promise you, you do not want to do that. Sometimes it is okay to have the same word because it's an object. And then obviously there are certain ones like and. You have to have and. Like I have so many ands on every single page. It's kind of ridiculous. But those are some of the things you have to. They're part of basic English sentence structure. You can't keep substituting and. It just is going to sound ridiculous at a certain point. But with echoes, you're more looking for adjectives / adverbs, I would say. The things that, like, technically, I don't even really need golden in any of these sentences, so they're already an extra word, if that makes sense. So then when I have 2 extra words, that they're both unnecessary, so I'm already sacrificing adding them, and I'm already, like, making a deliberate, bold move, adding these adjectives, but then when they're the same one, it's a little bit like, okay, calm down, take it down a notch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace one of these. I think I'm going to keep the golden here because I really like the imagery there. I've already described her as blonde before. I can't remember. I know with like the portrait, on this page I used blonde for the portrait imagery. Plus I use blonde so much in this book because there are so many blonde characters. Oh my goodness gracious. We have, well, technically Natalia is a natural blonde, so she's blonde right now, but like later in the book, well, starting in part 1, she dyes her hair pink, actually. She's a natural blonde. Allison's a natural blonde. Stephanie and Sean, their parents are blonde. Lilith is a blonde. Genevieve's blonde. Kyle's blonde. Michael is blonde. Lily is blonde. There's a lot of blonde people in this book. Oh, Jaden's a natural blonde. Like, the point being, I use blonde a lot, and I feel like golden, definitely a good substitute for that. And also, I kind of want to, like, give the imagery that they are standing in the middle of the sidewalk, and this is the last time that Natalia sees her, so I want to give it like the sun is like favoring Allison, like it is just completely like illuminating her, and her hair is glistening to the point where it looks golden. So I feel really attached to that. I think I don't really need golden here because she describes it as her eldest golden prodigy, and Natalia, being 11, doesn't know what a prodigy is. So then Allison tells her, and I feel like already you kind of have star and golden, and I know like star student, that's not what it means in the context of this expression. Like I'm not saying star as in within a galaxy meaning. I just feel like that's already kind of extra adjectives. I don't really need golden. I could just say, looks like her eldest prodigy won't be as successful as she expects, and that'll still sound really good. That'll still deliver the point that I'm trying to deliver. So I'm gonna do this on camera with you guys. Also, funny good tip, just always leave your pen open. Don't even bother capping it because you're just gonna be picking it up every 2 seconds and using it anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna find golden, and then I'm just going to scribble it out, and boom. That tells me that's like my deleting sign, so that tells me I can just go in and delete this word. But yeah, that's how I fix an echo. You don't need to fix both, by the way. Don't be like, oh yeah, I circled both, I gotta fix both. No, because the thing is the whole point is you just don't want the same word on the same page. So if you fix one of them, it's no longer the same word, so you no longer have a problem. So you really just gotta pick one or the other. Just like pick which one you're least attached to, or which one like you can least live without, and then go ahead and find a good synonym for that, or just delete it all together like I did. And then boom, problem solved. But echoes are definitely something to watch out for, so keep that in mind. Y'all, I feel so embarrassed right now. If it looks like I haven't moved, first of all, I promise I have. It's like a couple hours later, I did dishes, I did other chores. I'm back at proofreading. We're only on page 21, however, but I caught my first typo. It was supposed to be a board complaint from HR. I said a board compliant from HR. Now, how does this happen, one may wonder? Well, it's because the I's are just simply switched. As you can see from compliant, that's how you spell it. To spell complaint, I just have to move the I from after the L to after the A. So compliant is COMPLIANT, and complaint is COMPLAINT. I just mixed up the I's. I'm actually really surprised none of my beta readers caught that, but I'm also kind of not, because it's one of those things where I just stared at it a couple of times. I was like, that doesn't look right. Hey, I'm glad I caught that. Better catch that now than when it's published and people are like bashing on it, because that seems to be people's favorite thing to do, is when self-published authors or like anyone doesn't have an editor, which I had like 4 beta readers, okay? They are my editors. But because I'm not hiring anyone professionally, like, I already know people love to talk. And I don't really need that right now, because the self-published community is already tarnished enough. Like, everyone makes these silly little mistakes. Please don't feel bad about it if you find any in yours. Every single TradPub book that I've ever read in my life, I found at least one typo. So don't worry, but I'm just really glad that I caught this now, because this is an easy fix. It's just kind of like an embarrassing one. But first typo, page 21. It's actually kind of funny. Okay, I just found something else that I do, like a little symbol that I think is worth noting. It is this right here. Now, it's hard to see because I did circle it. I should have shown you when, like, before I circled it. But basically, there should never be a space between an ellipses and the next word. So it should be like word, ellipses, no space still, and then another word. For some reason, I usually am very good about this. I didn't intentionally do anything or know otherwise, but there's like another space right here in between the ellipses and including. I think it was probably during editing, especially during line editing, because I did the majority of line edits during the car ride on my vacation. So I was already very distracted, overstimulated, and plus it was in a car ride on my phone, and I probably was like deleting it, and then I added including, and I just didn't take note of that. But anyway, it doesn't just have to be with ellipses, but whenever there's an extra space that should not be there, and it is pretty obvious when you see it printed, I just kind of like draw a circle around the space. Because then when I think to myself, wait, why am I circling nothing? Then I remember, oh yeah, that's because there shouldn't be that space there and I need to delete it. So it's just a cool note to myself that's very effective and helps me remember. So I just found typo number 2, page 26. I spelled mantle M-A-N-T-A-L. It's M-A-N-T-E-L. E-L. Yeah. 2 typos in the first 2 chapters. Not on my bingo card. Not doing that great. But you know what? It's fine. Because my motto is, as long as I've found it before I've actually published this book, who's gonna know? The only people who are gonna know is you guys watching this video. So we can all laugh at my mistakes together. But you know what? It's okay. I'm just grateful to be finding them now. What's a pretty young thing like you doing at my table? Ugh. Guys, I just got the ick from that. Why did I write that? I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you know kind of moment, like, you'll understand when you get to it. Page 30, chapter 2, still, after the scene break at the coffee shop. But, like, oh my gosh, someone killed him already. Like, genuinely? How we be pulling everybody? Like, low-key, I'm just saying things that you guys don't understand at this point. But, like, Lilith, Allison, Stephanie, even, like, are we joking? I cannot believe I hate someone that I created. Like, I have myself to blame. This is all my fault. Yeah. See, I was very distracted because little old me forgot a period right here. I have absolutely no punctuation. This is like red flag number 1. What am I doing? Okay, I'm on page 65 right now, and I just wanted to point out something else that I think isn't necessarily like a proofreading hack or anything, just more of a grammatical line editing tip. But that is, sometimes you actually add extra words that you don't need to. Like, for instance, as you see here, lifted up as well. We're talking about his hand lifted up as well. And the thing is I actually got this review a lot on my last book. I tend to be really wordy and use extra words that, like, literally do not need to be there. And they just kind of make it read clunky and choppy, and the writing just doesn't feel smooth. So when readers read it, it's like a tongue twister just to get to your main point. Then they don't even understand what you're saying because it's just like too messy. So in this instance, we can delete the word up because lifted has a connotation that something is going up. Like if you're saying something is being lifted, you're saying it's going up. You wouldn't describe a pen falling as lifting. You'd describe that as falling. You know what I mean? Same thing if it was like falling down. Falling, something is going down. You could just say falling and people know it's going down because that's what falling means. So same with lifting. We know it means up, so you can actually delete that word and it'll make it smoother, and readers will still know exactly what you mean, so there's no confusion. But when you're proofreading, I would definitely recommend screening for this and seeing what words kind of already are self-explanatory and you don't need to like over-explain or describe them. Hey guys, happy Christmas Eve. Today is currently 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December 23rd. I have bad news though. This is how far we are. See that chunk that's sticking out? Not the farther one. Nope. See, knowing me, I can't do anything ahead of schedule or even on schedule. The less side. That's how much I read. I'm only on page 90. I should know this. I literally just finished chapter 10, which is, by the way, one of my favorite chapters in this book. I forgot how much I love it. I'm on page 93 right now, out of 465 pages. That much. I was supposed to be done with it today. I'm a D1 procrastinator, what can I say? But now I'm stressing because I can't do this. Like, proofreading takes so much longer than actual reading. I'm actually stressing right now. But I'm starving. I have not eaten. Like, I ate like a little bit of lunch. It was like crackers and hummus. That was at 1. And then that was like the first meal I ate all day. And I haven't eaten since. I'm like starving. So I'm gonna go eat and try not to be stressed. Bro, I'm literally gonna start crying right now. I thought that I had mastered this timeline. In case you're not aware, I feel like the timeline in any mystery or thriller book is crucial because that's how you like can rule out suspects and determine who actually could have committed this crime, blah blah blah. But especially in my book, especially in Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead, just a PSA to everyone who's going to read it, you really gotta pay attention to the timestamps that I give at the beginning of some chapters, and also just kind of like make a mental timeline in your head or keep track of it, because that is really important. Like, to the point that could be the difference between if someone is innocent or guilty. But the problem is, because it is so complicated and complex, who do you think has to create all that and make sure that like it actually makes sense? Little old me. And the problem being, I'm just a 16-year-old girl, okay? I like get really flustered with numbers. I think that's why I prefer geometry 1,000 times over algebra, because I'm a visual learner. I love shapes. I love like observations and making observations based off of what I see. And algebra is just all like numbers and formulas and rearranging them, and like it's just like, bro, that's so complicated, and it's like variables, and if one thing affects the other, then it affects this. And that's essentially what a timeline is. There's a lot of variables, and if one thing happens, it affects the other thing, and it's like a domino effect. And it's like, okay, this was only possible because of this, but this can only move because of this, so it has to be the next day because they did this. Like, it's like a whole process. And anyway, I have been struggling with this book's timeline since day one, since I started outlining. I have a vlog on it, actually. It's so funny. I think it's from like May or something. It's old. Old, 7 months ago, but you know what I mean, where I literally planned out the timeline of this book, and I have it in my notebook actually in the other room. Like, I physically mapped out a timeline before I started writing. Like, that's how much I knew ahead of time. Mind you, I hadn't even started typing out this book yet. I was still planning. I knew that I was going to need to do that. I've never had to do that for any other book before. Even my last mystery book, I never did that. But then I kind of bit my words, and I wish I had, because I got a lot of negative reviews and just constructive criticism of like, this book would have been so much better if the author would have like put timestamps, if I would have known what day we were on. Like, the pacing was just a little weird. It was a little confusing, like keeping track of how much time had passed. And I'm really bad at pacing, so like I guess those go hand in hand. But because of that, because I'm self-aware and know my weaknesses, I have been working overtime and doing the most to make sure that I get this timeline right, so that it makes sense and it's like easy for people to follow along. I'm gonna speak vaguely, but Natalia meets the Bureau, which is like this FBI secret society group, November 4th. And basically what happens is she meets them, they give her a tour of the cabin toward like midday, because she meets them at 8 a.m. so they have the entire day, so it's realistic that all of this stuff that happens in like the span of 5 chapters or so can happen in the day. There's a case that gets alarmed that the FBI sent them. They have to go. They start investigating in the woods, they find things, they find this murder letter, it's a whole thing. Anyway, that takes a bunch of chapters, that takes a whole day. She comes back, she's exhausted, she goes to sleep, or tries to. She can't fall asleep though, so she ends up staying up really late. She's a hacker, so she's hacking computers in their computer lab. Then we go to the infamous chapter 17, which is like, it's when the first kiss happens, by the way. BTW, so. It's also really angsty, because there's a trauma dump, but first kiss. So anyway, that happens, and that's at like 3 in the morning. And then, the other love interest, because it's a love triangle, of course, interrupts them and is like, yo, we got a case. And he's like really jealous, so he's trying to like act professional, but like his sternness is also because he's like really jealous. So he's like, we gotta go, like, what are y'all doing? Get up. And so they, keep in mind, Natalia's like basically pulling an all-nighter at this point. Well, actually, canonly in my mind, I think she kind of dozed off, but she just like, for the most part, was like kept waking up, which is why she just decided to get up and start hacking in the middle of the night. But then they go straight into a new case. But here's where the timeline starts to get a little bit messed up. I did not extend my timeline past November 4th. I mainly created my timeline for the past stuff. There is a lot that happens between the years of 2018 and like 2021, I would say. This book takes place in 2023, by the way. There's a lot that happens in those 3 years. So that was kind of my main focus, because keeping those consistent, because it jumps back and forth between timelines, past and present, flashback and current, with POV chapters and stuff, like that was my main concern. I didn't outline past November 4th, so basically I had jumped, and I had said that next day, when they were working on the case, was November 6th. And so this girl in this second case, this is the second case that they are tackling, went missing on the night of November 4th, which I was saying was 2 days ago. And for some reason, I wrote that, thought it was fine. I edited it, thought it was fine. It went through 4 beta readers who all thought it was fine. I read it again to edit with their feedback. I thought it was fine. I went through it with line edits, thought it was fine. It's taken me 7 drafts to realize that that is not right. That literally the night before was November 4th. So basically I jumped from November 4th to November 6th, which is really like, what the heck? I know, like, how do you make that kind of mistake? But the thing is I can't just change a couple of things, because then I looked at the next chapter where it actually is the next day. Like, she goes to sleep, she wakes up, and I said it was November 7th. Because I was so convinced that it was November 6th, so I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know how long this train is continuing, but basically I think I just screwed myself over, because this one little mistake is carrying through. So now I gotta like go back a day for everything, and I don't know how many chapters. I'm getting overwhelmed, so I'm just gonna like take it one step at a time. I'm on page 181, by the way, so we're making decent progress, I guess. But that was like a little bit of a setback, because now I have to like go to every mention of time, because apparently I've been perceiving time wrong this entire time. I don't know how many chapters it's lasting, I don't know how far it goes, but it's really annoying, because this freaking timeline will not stop giving me issues. But at least I caught it now, and not as a plot hole from ARC readers or actual readers. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. Hey guys, Merry Christmas Eve. I'm about halfway through. I'm on page 192. Not quite halfway, but I'm about to go bake. So I'm about to pull my inner Natalia out, and I'm excited because I love baking. And I'm gonna turn on the official LIPD playlist. I'll link it down below. You guys should totally go listen to it. And yeah, I'm just gonna pretend I'm Natalia Serenelli for a day, because she is my queen, my icon, my diva. We love her. And she bakes and hacks. Why would we not love her? Anyway, I also need a break from this, because I'm making good progress, but I'm really tired. I just found my 5th typo in this book. It says, I enjoyed being remembering a less gory part of that day. I enjoyed being remembering. Just a PSA, sometimes typos don't always have to be like spelling stuff. The word being should not even be there. It's because I've literally rewritten this specific part on page 205, and I have rewritten this so many times that the old one was being, but we just take my red pen, scribble that out because we do not need that. I'm officially halfway, page 242 out of 465. Page 360, which means we're officially 100 pages away from finishing this book. Like, that's how much we have left. We're doing really good. Merry Christmas, by the way, guys. It's currently December 25th. I'm so happy. I'm so full though. I'm actually so bloated and ate way too much. But you know what? It's worth it. It's really exciting. I do want to show you, I got this really cool case for my Kindle because I just had the, what drawer did I put it in? Kind of the basic, like, black magnetic Kindle case before. And I now just got this like flowery one, and then it has a clear case on the back, which I got stickers for. There's another pack. So I'm gonna decorate these probably tomorrow once I finish proofreading as a treat and reward for proofreading, but also because I'm sending ARCs tomorrow and that's gonna be really fun. And then I will be sure to show you guys like the finished product. But anyway, like I said, we are 100 pages away from the ending. I think I'm definitely gonna knock it out tonight. It's currently 9:08 p.m., but I'm gonna stay up as late as I have to because we are finishing this book tonight. If it's the last thing I do, like, I don't care if I stay up until 5 in the morning, I am finishing this tonight because I promise, I swore to people that I was sending it tomorrow, and I don't want to break that promise. Also, don't mind how messy my desk is behind me. This is the result of being on deadline from a book in the holidays. So anyway, I'll update you guys later. When I tell you that staying up until 4:43 in the morning on Christmas after I already had a very eventful Christmas was not a good idea, y'all need to listen to me when I say it was not a good idea, because it quite frankly was not a good idea. But yes, we officially finished proofreading Labeled Innocent Presumed Dead. Yay! I'm really, 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 really happy. Total time, it took me all of Monday, all of Tuesday, all of Wednesday. I don't want to say all of Thursday because I was trying to enjoy Christmas yesterday, but like every now and then, like I said, I would pop in. So I didn't really do that much, but then I stayed up from like 11 p.m. to almost 5 a.m. So 6 hours. So I'm just going to count that. So basically 4 days it took to proofread a 465 page book, which, all things considered, I was watching a lot of like author tubers proofread their books recently to like kind of hype myself up, get myself in that new draft mindset. One of which it took her, I think, 3 days to proofread a 300 and something page book. And she said the other book in the series, which was like 400, almost 500 pages, which is basically what this is. It's almost 500. It took her 6 days to proofread it. Another one I was watching, I think for like I want to say a 300 page book, it took her like 4 or 5 days. So yeah, considering this is almost 500 pages and it took me 4 days exactly, like, that's pretty good. I feel like I was grinding quite a bit, but the last step, I'm not done yet. I cannot celebrate. I really, really want to read a book because it's currently Stuff Your Kindle Day. Actually, by the time, wait a second. When this video goes up, it'll still be going on. It's Friday, December 26th only. So if you're happen to be watching this the day I post it, I'll leave the link in the description down below. Basically, it's like, remember the event that I participated in, the Stuff Your Kindle event with my last book? And it went really well, and it was just like a bunch of free books. This is basically that, but it's like the original version. The whole concept of this Stuff Your Kindle thing was created by this indie author named Zoe, like 10 or 12 years ago. I think it was back in like 2014. And then since then, everybody loved it, so they started copying it. So there are a bunch of like copycats came out, and it's totally okay. Like, Zoe gives them permission to do it. She's not like copywriting the concept or anything. But the one I participated in was one of those like copycat ones, just because it's really hard to get into the main one. But this main original one is the big one. There's like over 1,700 books. They're all for free, and they're all romance, but they're different kinds of romance. So you can look through the sections. There's like a young adult category, a new adult category, sports romance, romantic suspense, mystery romance, paranormal romance, dark romance. Like, there's a bunch of different categories, and there's like hundreds of books in each one that are free. So I have already downloaded, I think, 8 or 9 to my Kindle, and all I want to do right now is just continue downloading because I already know there's more I want, but I had to stop myself because, you know, this takes priority. Life of an author, of course. And then also, some of the books I got sound so good. I just want to start them. And like, there's one book I love long books, and there's one book that's like 500 pages, and I just want to binge it, but I can't because I've been reading this, and I've been telling myself, Marcelina, you're complaining that you don't have time to read this. So if you read another book, that's time that you could be reading this. So I kept stopping myself, but now that I'm almost done, I really want to read. But anyway, my point being, I can't yet because I'm not done. What was the point of spending 4 days proofreading this bad boy if none of the changes that I made get implemented and added into the actual computer manuscript? So I got to do that by hand. So what I've been doing is I've been going through page by page, and when I'm done, or when I make a change, I highlight it, and it stands out. It's like ketchup and mustard because red pen and then yellow highlighter. So let me just show you. I'm gonna put my phone down here. So when I'm done with some changes, I just straight up highlight right through them. And yes, this looks really messy, I'm aware, but this basically just tells me like, hey, Marcelina, you made this change. And then there are a couple of like formatting things that I don't need to do because, oh my gosh, by the way, how have I not talked about it? I'm sending out ARCs today. Not all of them, because I've only reached out to like 20 people. I want to reach out to at least 50 total, so I need to reach out to 30 more. But the ones I've already reached out to, I promise the 26th, I need to send it to them today, and then from here on out, I'll have the finished draft. So then as soon as I reach out to people and they agree, I could just send it to them, and there's no wait. But anyway, I'm sending it to, I think, 20 people today, which is wild. So there are a couple of like formatting things. Like there are these annoying weird spaces for some reason in the paperback version. But in my head, it's just like, I really don't need the paperback version right now. My main concern is the ebook version because that is what I'm sending to ARC readers. So yeah, I'm kind of just ignoring those, just focusing on actual like things, and then I could fix those later. But me highlighting them is basically just my way of being like, okay, Marcelina, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this, and then if there is any I skip, it'll be unhighlighted and I'll know that I skipped it. That way I can just keep track of what I'm doing, because it's like, it's not hard work, it's just very detailed work, and it's easy to miss something. So I'm like, this is a way basically to prevent it. And then remember how I was doing the red check marks at the bottom of the page? Once I like finish a page, okay, I did everything on this page, I highlighted everything, then I just highlight through the check mark, which indicates that this entire page is done. I can now move on to the next page. So anyway, that's my process. I just started going through. I'm only on chapter 3. It's kind of fun to like see all the yellow. The last few days have been really hard. I think especially around the holiday season, all I want to do is chill, binge Stranger Things, bake more things, hang out with my family, play games. Like, I just, not that I have been isolating myself or anything, it's just like choices, you know what I mean? Like, my parents watched a movie and it was a thriller and I kind of wanted to watch it, and I could have, but I wanted to proofread because at this point, a deadline is a deadline, and if I just keep pushing, there's always going to be excuses, okay? And like right now it's Christmas and the holidays. Pretty soon it's going to be my mom's birthday in a couple days, then New Year's, and then, oh my gosh, pretty soon, 5 days after that, I go back to school. Then my excuse is going to be, I have so much work, I need to log in, it's the new semester. I had straight A's last semester, I need to make sure I do that again this semester, like, and then I have a really, really, really big presentation for my AP college class that counts as college credit toward the end of January, so then my team and I are going to need to be grinding all of January on it. So basically, it's just like, there's always going to be an excuse. I'm always going to find some reason that I can't proofread, that I'm busy, that I don't want to, that I'm tired. I'm always going to find an excuse. I just had to lock in and do it. So I did it. It's done. Like I said, I have a lot to go through and like actually implement in the computer, but I'm not going to show that because that's boring and tedious work. And yeah, this video is already very long as it is. Closing thoughts, however, how do I feel about this book? I was thinking about this last night. I'm going to say an 8 out of 10 in confidence. Like 10 being like, oh yeah, I'm so confident about this book. I love everything about this book. I know people are going to be obsessed with it. Like, I am myself obsessed with it. And then 1 being like, I absolutely hate this. This is a piece of trash. I feel a solid 8. And before you're like, wait, Marcelina, you don't feel totally confident? No. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good angle here. But no, I don't feel confident because it's not in my nature to be 100% confident about anything. I am such an overthinker. And I was reading through it, specifically this one group of chapters toward the end. I was like, I can already see, I could hear the reviews in my ear of people nitpicking certain things. Like, I was already picking out things that I don't want to change and I can't really change. And they're just like, I don't want to, but I just know, oh yeah, people are gonna hate this. Oh yeah, people are gonna have a lot to say about this. Like, but I think it's just me remembering you cannot please everyone. I cannot please everyone. No one can please every person on this earth. Like, for example, I think pineapple on pizza is the greatest invention ever exists. It's literally my favorite pizza flavor ever. And yet almost everyone I meet absolutely hates it. Does that mean that they're weird? No, it's their opinion. Does that mean that I'm weird? No, it's my opinion. Opinions are our own. They are subjective. They just depend on the person's preferences, their past experiences. Like, you cannot control their past experiences. Maybe this one person will like the general plot of my book, but then they'll hate it and trash on it because maybe they have a similar backstory to one character and that bothers them. I mean, like, yes, I put trigger warnings, but I can't control what happened to someone. I can't control someone's experience. Like, at the end of the day, there's only so much I can control. That is within making the story as good as it can be, making everything fleshed out, treating it with sensitivity, making it fun and lighthearted, but also, like, serious. Like, I can do what only I can, and I just gotta market to find the right people. And even if I do try to find the right people and they seem interested, and then they don't like it, that's okay. As long as they don't go, like, publicly trashing me and starting rumors about me and humiliating me. Because I do think that there's a line to be crossed of you should never attack the author. Unless the author has done something cancelable, you should never attack the author if you don't like the book. Same concept as you should never attack the artist if you don't like a song. Just my opinion. But anyway, I'm feeling like it could go either way. I'm sending out arcs today. I'm really nervous. It's probably going to be the end of the day though, so if you are watching this, because all my vlogs go up around 2-ish. I don't know if I'm going to push this one back. But if you're watching this video and you are an arc reader, for me, you know who you are. Please, 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 please be patient with me. I'm so sorry. I know he said the 26th is probably going to be, because I'm in Pacific time, and I don't think any of my, actually, one of my arc readers might be in Pacific time, but the rest of them are in either Eastern or they're not in my country. Therefore, it is probably going to be the 27th for most people. It's definitely going to be the 26th for me. I don't even care if it's like 9 p.m. at night, but just bear with me, please. It's been a crazy few days, but I guess I'll see reactions soon enough. It's just I'm hyperfixating on, like, every little thing that people could hate, and I need to stop. I need to just be like, overall, I enjoyed it. I literally found myself, it was so amazing. This is exactly the feeling you want to have. Found myself reading, and then I realized I haven't marked up this book in like 5 pages, and it wasn't because there wasn't issues. It was because I was so invested in it, I'd forgot my job. I'd forgotten I was a writer and not a reader, and I was just having so much fun with the scene and reading the dialogue, and I was getting so into it as like a reader that I wasn't even focusing on the logistical side. Like, that's how you know some parts of it are actually good, if I do say so myself, because if me, the writer, if I was acting like it was the first time I ever read it, and like I was so intrigued and hooked, and like there was actually some dialogue that made me go like, ooh, or ah, or what, and I wrote it. I've thought of it and went over it about 1,000 times in my head, and if I still had those genuine reactions, obviously that means something. So obviously this isn't a trash book, and overall I do feel decently confident about it, but I don't know. We shall see what happens, but overall I'm just so glad proofreading is pretty much done. And I'll be sending to arc readers. That'll be my next vlog next week, so stay tuned for that. It's been a roller coaster, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. Hope you guys all have an amazing rest of the month, an amazing time with family and loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. All of my links will be in the description down below, and I will see you all in the next video very, very soon. Bye!